ghosts, spirits, poltergeists, demons. Do they exist? Is there life after life? Are there unseen entities around us? Can they communicate? Do you believe? What happens in the shadows doesn't always stay in the shadows. Live from Northwest Georgia, covering the region and beyond, this is Georgia Paranormal Radio. And now, here is your host, Mike Watkins.
Good evening! Welcome to another edition of Georgia Paranormal Radio. This is your host, Mike Watkins. You're listening to episode number 32 in 1 week, huh? That's wild. Joining me this fine evening with a beautiful day outside is my good friend David Westbrooks. David?
How are you, Mike?
All right. Tongue-tied, but, hey, I'm out of practice. What can you say?
How you happen?
So, been a long day and been a long week, and it just started, and it's gonna get longer. So, guess that's what they make booze for. I mean, anyway. So,
it's hard to get started after a holiday.
Isn't it though? And it's hard to read all the junk mail after a holiday. Seems like all my junk mail doubled up today in the mailbox. It was overflowing. So
they held it back a day.
Yeah, I got double the junk mail. So. Well, anyway, tonight is episode number 30. It is the EVP Special for the month of May. Yeah, May's already over. That's wild. There's only, 7 months left in the year?
Yeah, Christmas is, next week?
It seems like it.
Yeah, unfortunately it does.
And this is episode 30. Of course, we're a little behind schedule. We should be up around 35, 36, somewhere around there. But who's counting on that, right? So, anyway, we're glad you're listening. And we should have some interesting samples for you tonight. Matter of fact, we've got a much talked about sample. Something that you've mentioned many times on the air, but we've never played. And that's your first EVP, the one that got you hooked.
Very first one. I dug through the archives at the house. Went through about, a couple of hundred discs before I finally found it. But I managed to find it, and I included it on this week's show.
Been there, done that.
Of course, now this month has been a lot more active than what a couple of last months has.
Yeah.
We've had a little bit of flux in the electromagnetic field, which has helped some. And, I think we got some decent EVPs this time. Some borderline A's, but definitely B's.
Yeah, it's hopefully things are going to pick up in the old ghost hunting business, and hopefully things will be easier to capture and easier to get, and a lot of it comes from finding the time to go do it too. But
which is something that neither you or I have had time to do here.
No, I've got court again tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, court always throws something into it where you just don't have enough time, but with everything going on, it's getting summertime now. Everything goes on all at one time. You got court going on, or jobs going on, family life going on. But we still find time to get out there occasionally. Not as much as we'd like.
Oh, absolutely.
But we get out there.
If they could make ghost hunting a date, then I think that would be okay. That whole. How do you humans do that anyway? I don't know. You people are amazing. I'll never understand the human race, but anyway, we don't have enough time, but these are some pretty good captures, and full moon this week.
Yes, Thursday night, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night, so have to get out Thursday or Friday and see a little bit if something goes on there, and I think it's supposed to rain this weekend finally.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. I was going to mow the desert, but, mow the yard, but...
Fairly much. You're right about the first, what you said first. I don't think it's a desert.
I don't think my mower can cut cactus.
Yeah, it's bad. We haven't had any rain here at all since the first of the year. We've had just a very little bit, but not enough to get us by with. And my yard is dying. The clovers are dead.
It's
Everything.
awful. I think this month we've had, on the official record, somewhere around 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain this month. And normally in May we have, somewhere around 9 to 10 inches.
Well, March and April are our wet months.
Oh, yeah.
That's when we get the biggest majority of the rain. And usually, along in the summertime, July and August is when we start feeling the effects of no rain at all.
Mm-hmm.
But this year has just been absolutely just crazy.
Been ridiculous.
We have had no rain whatsoever. When it don't look very, very good for the forecast as it is. It needs to rain for about a week, just a nice, low, steady rain. And I'll grumble and gripe because I'm out getting wet in it, but we need it.
Oh, we need it. It's dusty outside. I'm looking around. It's dusty in here. Of course, that's probably my fault. But anyway, Al Gore might be right. Maybe we're having some global warming.
It may be.
No wonder he won an Oscar. So, anyway, something I mentioned on the last broadcast, episode 29, about the MySpace thing.
Oh yeah.
I haven't updated the website yet on that part, but you changed your MySpace account.
I did. Actually, what I did, I actually deleted my account for a short period of time. I've, without going into everything in my personal life, I've just got a lot of things going on in my personal life right now.
Yes.
And I'm one of those type of people that believe that if you can't keep something up, you need to just go ahead and step away from it until things get better and you can come back to it and do it the way it should be. So I ended up deleting my MySpace page, and it was just ungodly at the amount of emails that I got from friends that I'd made on MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
And at one time I had 4 pages of email.
My goodness.
From people that was begging me not to leave MySpace. They loved the pictures. They loved the articles. So after about a week's break from it and going into DTs from it, because it is addicting.
It's horribly addictive.
I went back and I made another MySpace page, and I've got a few photographs thrown up on it already. It's a work in progress. I still haven't got my page exactly like I want it yet, but the big thing is I'm back.
Yeah, you can visit my MySpace page and click on David. He's the #1 person there. Imagine that. And link to his page. And mine is myspace.com/NWGAPIT. And yours changed. I forget. It used to be the old Archer, and then now it's
now it's Native Spirit Seeker.
all one word.
All one word.
myspace.com/Native Spirit Seeker. So yeah, I was, I understood you wanting to do that. I mean, I totally support anybody when they want to do something, they make a decision. But what I didn't realize is when you deleted your account that I was going to have to find somebody else to fill my top row. That sucked.
It's not as easy a choice as it sounds like, is it?
Well, I reserved the top row for very close personal friends.
Which makes me feel good.
I mean, these, the rest of the people are friends of the show. They're celebrities that I've talked to. They're people I really don't know. But the top row is my space.
Right.
And heck, I was hard pressed to find somebody to replace you there.
Yeah.
So
the whole thing is, you never really stop to think about the friendships or the lives that you actually touch.
Yeah.
Even on a computer.
Yeah.
And I've made wonderful, absolutely wonderful friends that are caring and very compassionate people as far as things that go on in your personal life, and every sense of the word friend.
Yeah.
And it really made me feel bad after I deleted MySpace and I kept getting the emails. And, everybody that I've got on my page so far understands that I may not be able to respond as quick now because of some personal issues that I've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
But that as soon as I get half a chance, I'll sit down, I'll make contact with them and let them know how things are going. And, what can I say? They're a great bunch of people.
Absolutely
great bunch of people.
Absolutely. I had to, it is addictive, like you said. I had to wean myself off the instant messenger. It took me months to get on it, and then when I did, I couldn't stop.
Right.
I mean, it's very addictive.
Well, it's a lot easier than sitting down, writing a message out on
Email.
on your email
Cheaper
space.
than a cell phone call.
And it is addictive. It is, but you'll end up getting the finger cramps if you ain't careful.
Oh, I'm telling you. I think that maybe why my laptop's keyboard burned out. I've almost got that repaired though. It's God forbid I should spend the $25 and get a new one off eBay.
Yeah.
Oh, I can fix it. We can make it better.
But I've got a very special bunch of people so far on my page that I've got built up right now. I'm still looking for a few of the friends that I had.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to locate them again yet, and I put the word out on MySpace that if you were a friend, go ahead and mail me back, let me know where you're at, and I'll add you back on. But the ones that I've got, my whole front page, there's 20 of my best friends on my front page. You being, of course, up the top. I had to put Cindy first, unfortunately, but just strictly because she's my wife. But but everyone that I've got listed on my page, my top friends right there, are just absolutely dear to me, and they mean an awful lot to me.
Yeah, there are a lot of good folks. I remember, that some people contacted me about you deleting it. They're like, "Why is he doing that?" Well, he said why he was doing it.
Well, a lot of them didn't catch up on it though.
Yeah. So.
And the bad thing about it is when you delete your MySpace account,
it deletes the mail.
It deletes everything.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing there to tell what did happen.
Yeah. So it was. I'm glad you're back though, and everybody understands. And
well, another big thing too is on our website. I've started taking a little bit more active part in the forum section.
Oh dear, the forums are. I stopped by the other day and was catching up on it. It went from somewhere around 240 messages to nearly 270 in like a week.
Yeah, I've started taking a little bit more active part in that. I'm trying to filter my time out between both.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some good responses on the forum, good questions.
Yeah, the fellow from Germany, Raymond, I think I talked about him in the last radio show.
He got some great pictures.
He's got some good pictures linked on that booger too. People need to go check that out. There's I would love to see the originals because, if the internet quality looks that good, the original has got to just blow your mind.
Yeah, the originals are always better, and you got sharper detail in the originals, and I would love to see an original copy of those pictures.
Yeah, he's over in Germany though, but the message board's done well.
We can go over.
Well,
go to Germany.
Speaking of Germany, our team member James, who, Lord love his soul, volunteered to join the Army. James, I don't know what you were thinking. But
we're proud of him.
Oh, absolutely, I'm proud of him. But he's finished his AIT, I think, this week or next week. And super secret satellite stuff, And that's where he's going. He signed on for a 2-year tour of duty. You're
not going to get in trouble for saying super secret satellites on the radio, are you?
I may.
Would that fall under the Patriot Act?
I may. Anyway, he's going to Germany, and
I'm not here.
Nor am I.
I'm not here. So if he gets in trouble for that, I wasn't here. Just remember that.
Well, I didn't say that.
I've got witnesses.
I didn't say what satellite. It's pretty cool, though. Trust me. It's cool. Anyway, he signed on to go to Germany for 2 years. And
Boy spent some time in Germany whenever he was in service in Japan.
They say it's a very good place to do military duty at.
It is.
I've got several friends who.
Yeah, my son liked it there and everything, but he liked Japan better than he did Germany.
Really? I don't know that I would like that, or Korea. They say Korea is a good place to do, or South Korea, of course. But
I don't see me going to Korea.
With the tension with North Korea right now, and technically, we're not at peace. I mean, we never declared peace. We just declared a ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
There was never actually peace made, so we're still at war with those people.
Well, I don't know if at war would be an appropriate term, but
we're involved in a conflict.
We're watching them real close.
Well, yeah, but it's just like the South. Most of us really didn't sign that peace agreement. We're still kind of at war with the Yankees.
Remember, I was born in Chicago.
Nobody's perfect.
Okay.
Remember, I got my degree in Chicago.
Okay.
Well, one of them, so nobody's perfect. And I love the Blues Brothers. They're from Chicago. But anyway, so anyway, he's going over to Germany to work on classified. Edited out for your protection there. So anyway, wish him well, and I think he's having the fun military life though. 18, 19, 20 years old, single man.
Well, so the only thing I worried about while my son was in the service and across seas was that he would find a nice young lady to settle down with, get married, and when he came back home, he would bring her and the parents and the grandfathers and all their relatives and the bones of their relatives from the cemetery that they were buried in, and come back and said, "Dad, I need a place to stay." That's what I was.
And by the
about.
way, they don't speak English.
No. Yeah, that's a gimme right there. That's what generally happens.
Yeah. Well, one of my friends who's, I think he listens to this show. I won't mention his name in case he does, but he actually did find, he's serving in Korea, and married a Korean girl over there, and she broke his heart. And they got divorced within like 2 months. But,
well, that's generally how it goes. They find a GI they attach to, they marry. When they get over here, within 6 months, they're divorced.
Oh, he was.
But then they're American citizens.
Yeah, he was tore up from the floor up about that. So, Lord love him. That's why I do all my dating, on 23rd Street in Chattanooga.
How in the world did we ever get off on this topic?
I don't know.
Started off as MySpace.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And thank you for listening to episode number 30.
Yeah, that burned about an hour right there.
I'm telling you. Well, it's been so long since we got together, and I guess we just got to catch up or something. And
yeah, that's one of the things I do miss. You and I used to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, we did.
But between everything that's going on in my life and work and you and work and everything else, we just ain't had enough time to sit down and just enjoy ourselves. When's the last time that we actually went out and had fun going out looking for something?
It's been nearly 2 months.
It's been a while. We're going to have to just say,
to heck with it all.
To heck with all of it, and just take a day and just rest and relax, go out and do some hunting and just get away from
Me and you used to burn up the coffee pot at the Golden Gallon.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
I'm telling you what, and, now every time I drive by there, I have a little tear.
Life goes by too quick.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
We have to lay back a little bit. We've got to enjoy it while we're here.
Indeed we do, and hopefully we'll get some time here. This is actually going to be my last weekend off for 6 months, this weekend.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'd rather work the weekend and be off during the week.
So would I. Because I can get more done during the week.
Oh, I can get more done during the weekend than I can during the week any day.
And plus, being on first shift, it's not really like I'm doing anything anyway. So
first shift.
4:30 comes early, but when I walk out that door at 2:45 and I'm off duty,
I'm sorry, I'm a vampire. When the sun comes up, it's time to lay down and rest. When the sun goes down, it's time to get up and play.
Oh, I'm
allergic to sunlight. I can't stand it. It kills me.
It hurts my eyes, but that's why I like the wintertime better, because there's less sun. But yeah, I love the freedom that getting off at 2:45 in the afternoon or 3 o'clock brings.
I just don't like it. I don't like working days.
It's fun for me. So, but then the problem is that you have your night owl friends who are only up when you're asleep.
Yeah, yeah. When they call you, you're laying down to go to sleep. And
yeah, that happened last night, as a matter of fact. And anyway, long story there. And then today I tried to take a nap and was 2 phone calls later, so, which you weren't one, by the way. But speaking of phone calls, man, I'm telling you, Verizon Wireless has got to get that 5 plan. The one like T-Mobile's got?
Yeah.
Where you can have unlimited calls to 5 of your favorite people for free. Because I'm telling you what, I'm going to have to get a part-time job just to have a cell phone.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Oh, my God, I'm telling you. I had to increase to 900 minutes this month.
And that's probably not going to be enough.
Well, that's not including the nights and weekends that are unlimited. It's ridiculous. I could pull up my Verizon account right now, and it says I've used somewhere around 1,700 minutes.
Good Lord.
And I think I'm going to have a brain tumor, too, from talking on a cell phone.
Yeah, your brain ought to be just about fried from the microwaves.
I mean, I am. It's ridiculous. But,
I noticed your eyes were a little red here lately, but I didn't pay that much attention to it.
Oh, it's probably the pot. No, wait. Wait. Oh, God. Sheriff, I am not smoking pot.
Oh, Lord have mercy. No.
Not much.
After that statement, I need a drink.
No, I sell pot, Sheriff. I mean, wait. No.
Hush, hush.
David's my supplier.
Lord God, don't say that.
No. Oh, hopefully the boss isn't listening. So
Yeah, hopefully.
Or the drug task force.
Or Big Brother, either one.
Yeah. We support the DEA, the FBI, the CIA, military intelligence, for what I said earlier. We support the government. And
that's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Yeah, military intelligence. Yeah, it's like thunderous silence.
Yeah.
The two can't exist.
Right.
Anyway, well, now that we've rambled on, and I've proven just how high I am, I mean, how silly I am, I guess it's time to get down to business, eh?
Well, we got a few to throw at them this week.
Yeah, got about 11 on here, and every time, I sounded Canadian. Time to get down to business, eh? So anyway, we'll just get right into some EVPs, and we're going to play these in no particular order until I can extract the loops off my laptop. Because right now my laptop has no keyboard in it, and the keyboard's in about 12 pieces.
It's kind of hard to work on without a keyboard.
Well, the thing won't even boot up without it plugged in. It's weird. I think for some reason it requires a keyboard. So I can't even transfer anything off my laptop. I got to get that fixed tonight, though. But, yeah, wow, who would have thought they were that sensitive? I mean, all I did was spill a couple of Cokes on it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But,
throw one in the lake and... What in the world? It just won't work.
It just won't work. It's crazy. But anyway, hard to really just buy a new one, but I can fix it. We can make it stronger and faster. We have the technology.
Yeah. And by the time you get through, you're going to have
$6 million
in it.
Yeah. A $6 million keyboard.
And could have bought one for $299.
$25's the cheapest price.
Really?
Because those are custom. They're fitted specifically for that laptop case.
Lord.
It has to slide in the slot, and it has the 8 screw holes.
It sounds to me like it's time to get back on eBay.
eBay. I did it eBay. I love that. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have the $25, so I can fix it. I can make it stronger and faster. We have the technology. That big settlement check come in from Walmart, and that'll be even nicer. Department of Labor, thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right, so we're going to do about 5 or 6 of these bad boys and get them out of the way, and then we're going to take actually we'll probably do about 3 or 4, take a little commercial break, and then we'll do the rest of them. Here we got 11 EVPs for you good folks today, and so, hey, let's go with this one. We'll just start at the old top of the list, and for those of you unfamiliar with the EVP shows, we're going to play them 3 times for you. Loop them, they call it in the business. That's looping. And that way, the first time you might not even actually be able to tell what it's saying, but the more you listen to something, the more you can tell. And so we'll play it for you 3 times, and then we'll tell you what we think it says, and if we can remember the circumstances as to when it was caught. Some of these go back in the archives. Some of these are new. So, Lord forgive David if he can't remember everything, because it has been a busy month for everybody concerned. And so, anyway, let's just rock and roll with it. Here comes your first EVP right now. All right. Well,
that one right there was captured, believe it or not, in a school that is no longer in business.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of schools shut down in our area because they built a newer school that they moved to.
Right.
And for the ones that don't know, I work in law enforcement,
mm-hmm.
and occasionally we have calls at places like this, and this is one of those times where we had received a call and had the good fortune of being on the inside of this school. And I always tape a tape recorder, no matter where I'm at. I always have a tape recorder somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the opportunity, turned it on until I left. And that came out of that old school.
Yeah, and what we're getting from that is here he comes. So, yeah.
The biggest majority of the EVPs that we'll have on this right here are coming from that location.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got I had two that were from the archives. My very first one and another one.
Okay.
And the rest of them fairly much come from this school.
Now, that's the location that's having that auction on that big disc that I want.
That's the location.
I read it in the paper. It's coming up on, I think, the last Thursday of June.
Somewhere around through there, yeah.
It's like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I asked the boss if I could leave a little early that day, and he said, why? I told him, and he said, well, can I go with you?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So anyway.
And they got some good equipment still left in there they're going to auction off.
Well, I heard there's TVs, computers,
TVs,
everything.
computers. The place is just absolutely loaded.
And at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I mean, who goes to an auction at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday?
You'll be surprised.
Really?
You'll be surprised.
I thought maybe I'd be the only one there and get things for pennies on the dollar.
Boy, well, you probably will get them pretty cheaply, but there'll probably be a lot of people there too, and it depends on how they're going to auction it off. If they're going to auction it off on lots, or if they're going to auction off each item individually.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how cheap you'll actually end up getting it.
Yeah.
But one of the amazing things about this school is that it's bordered on one side by a major cemetery.
Huge cemetery.
And then on the other side of it is church.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of area right in through there that's got a lot of spirit activity in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at a building that held somewhere 800, 900 students. So with that many little Energizer Bunny batteries running around,
mm-hmm.
they had plenty of energy to draw from.
Oh, yeah.
So, there was a good bit of activity there at one time. But, this was just one of those occasions where I was lucky enough to be on duty when we got a call, got into the location, and had about, both times I was there, probably about an hour's worth of time to actually run a recorder there while I was there doing an investigation.
Sweet. I've never actually been in that school. Been in a couple of them in that area, but yeah, it is right next to that big honking cemetery. So
yeah, we've had a lot of activity.
Oh,
a lot of audible EVPs.
Audible.
Audible EVPs.
Audible. Yeah. Yeah, that was no no slip of the tongue there. They are audible. You can hear the dead people.
Yeah. I was going through the archives digging up the first EVP and come across the one that we got that night where me, you, and Brian were in the cemetery and got the audible EVP.
Oh, that was great.
And it was amazing at the conversation afterwards. I mean, it was comical.
Yeah.
It was comical.
Was that, before or after I needed to go home and change my pants?
Just so everybody knows, the EVP, or the AVP, excuse me, was Get Out.
Yeah.
And we fairly much complied with the wishes.
Yeah. And it's actually on the website. It's up there. The edited version.
Right.
Because there are a few words omitted.
Oh, there were some adjectives and adverbs going around too, because
colorful metaphors.
It was one of those things that caught us off guard. We wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And it was just as clear as it could be. Get out.
Oh, golly, it was creepy. Crazy.
No misconceptions about what they said. No misconceptions about what they meant by it, and we complied.
And nor were there any misunderstandings or misconceptions about where the voice came from.
No.
Because, we were in the middle of the cemetery and the voice was right on us.
Well, now, before we left, we drove through a couple of the roads in the cemetery before we actually left the cemetery.
Yeah.
And there was nobody else there, no living human there.
Nobody within any kind of vocal range to say that.
Not at all.
But, it was great. So there was that one from that good school location. Now this next one, this is all these are captured by David this month, as they usually are. But at first I thought they were talking about me. Well, a couple of weeks ago anyway, because God, I got blasted. Which remind me why I shouldn't drink, David.
Okay.
But I quit drinking 7 years ago, and it took me one day to remember why. I'm not a good drinker anymore.
Please, Mr. Tidy Bowl Man, please be cool.
My, my head felt disproportionate to my body for a very long time afterwards.
Yeah, well, that happens whenever you drink.
Yeah. And it was just one. I mean, I don't, like everybody we ever got for drinking. I just had one.
Just had one.
Unfortunately, it was one 12-pack. But
keg.
Yeah. But, so anyway, as I alluded to there, and I'm stuttering. So here you go. Here's this clip before I get myself in real trouble. David, were you drunk?
No, actually I wasn't. But evidently, whoever is talking about this knew somebody that was.
Hopefully it wasn't me. It was one time, okay? I was off duty.
And the thing about it is, again, this comes from that school.
So, maybe the principal. No, never mind. And that'll be sending your lawsuits to David Westbrooks, operations manager.
Thank you.
No.
But, it kind of makes you wonder if maybe it wasn't an actual spirit saying anything at that time. Maybe it was just
an echo.
An echo.
Yeah. And you never know. You never know those things. This next one comes from same location.
Yes.
So let's just go ahead and play that. Okay. Well, hey.
That came from around the library area.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounded, I mean, I'm not saying it sounded like mean or anything, but it sounded very forceful. Like they were really trying to get somebody's attention. Well,
at the time that EVP was captured, I was actually going from room to room checking to make sure that there wasn't an intruder in there.
Mm-hmm.
We had already detained 5 people that had went into this place illegally, and we were basically clearing the building.
Really?
I had a whole wing that I was clearing by myself. No other living human anywhere around me that could have picked that up.
Wow. I didn't know you detained 5 people in that.
Yeah.
None of them were 95.
No, all of them were juveniles.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
You gotta hate that.
Oh, what you gotta hate is whenever their parents come after them.
Oh, well, maybe for them. Because
Yeah.
if it was my kid, they wouldn't be sitting down for weeks.
Yep, all 5 of them fairly much fit in that category, too.
They'd take me to jail for child abuse is what they'd do. Because, I don't know. There's, I always try. I work in the jail. I don't go out and arrest people. Don't have any inclination to. But whenever we get young'uns in the jail, and I say young'uns because that's my southern word of the day.
Yeah.
Young'uns in the jail, we can house people 17 years of age and older.
Right.
And, in Georgia, that's the law. If you're 17, you're old enough to go to big boy jail. In Alabama, it's 15.
Is it?
There are some 15-year-olds in state prisons.
I try to stay out of Alabama.
Well, I do too.
I get confused on their laws down there because their laws are a lot different than
they
ours
are quite different.
Don't go into Alabama carrying a loaded gun.
Well, they've got reciprocity with our.
Oh no, they'll shoot you down in Alabama.
Concealed weapon law. Really?
They will shoot you dead in Alabama.
Note to self: leave gun off when going to Alabama. I'll tell you who's bad about that is Chattanooga. Chattanooga hates it when you carry a loaded gun in the city.
Well, the good thing about us, since we're in law enforcement, they did pass the bill where any law enforcement agency, or agent, I should say, that is traveling through that district or that state is able to carry a handgun now, loaded, on their side, whatever.
And that actually includes people of my low stature too, doesn't it?
Yeah, anybody that's involved in law enforcement. So
I changed the sheriff's tire one day.
Yeah. So that made a big difference. But now
Yeah.
Tennessee was one of those states where you couldn't have the gun and the ammunition together.
Right.
If you had both, one better be in the trunk and the other one better be in the dash.
Right.
Preferably the gun in the trunk and the ammo in the dash. Otherwise, they would lock you up, and that was including law enforcement.
Yeah.
If you wasn't actually working at the time, you couldn't have the weapon.
They supposedly joined the concealed weapons partner carrying list, where they honor Georgia's law, and we honor their law, their permit, But you know, there've been a lot of problems with Tennessee.
Yeah.
With and Chattanooga hates it. And when I go to Chattanooga, I carry a gun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I worked in Chattanooga for a long time, and you know, I carry the gun, an extra magazine, and a brick.
Yeah.
Just in case I run out of bullets. You know. But God love Chattanooga. But anyway, so we'll just move on. Well, how did we get off on that anyway?
I'm gonna blame that on you.
That was my fault. My bad. So anyway, here's the next EVP coming at you right now.
I can hear you sounding. I can hear you sounding. I can hear you sounding.
Well, I guess it heard it coming at us. Coming at it right now, as a matter of fact. So it heard it coming, or heard you coming from the school.
Are you okay?
Not terribly.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that also came from the school. That's if I remember right, that was on one of the long hallways where we were first approaching the library.
Mm-hmm.
That EVP actually became before the other one that we played a minute ago. So basically they're saying that they can hear me coming.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm not okay. I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue, folks. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You know.
I got some out in the car.
Oh, I'm jonesing.
Gorilla glue.
Ooh. Anyway, Gorilla glue.
Yeah. Add a little bit of just moisture to it, and you couldn't break it with a pickup truck.
You know, when I used to play guitar, and for people out there who are musicians, they used to make this stuff. It's called Gorilla Snot, and it was where you could hang on to your guitar pick.
Mike, I haven't ate supper yet.
Oh, well, it didn't really look like Gorilla Snot.
It don't matter.
Well, I hadn't eat either.
Okay.
So, anyway, Gorilla Snot. It worked well.
Okay.
Anyway, this next EVP comes from, I guess, the same location.
Yep.
And here you go. Okay, I wonder if this is, this and the next one are kind of alike, David. I wonder if this is just a, partial capture, because I hear out. I wonder if they were saying, get out, that kind of thing.
I'll listen to it carefully. I didn't hear anything before that, but now it could be wrong. It could be.
Well, maybe they just didn't have enough energy.
Page 1 of the handout.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah. Now this next one coming up, though, didn't come from that location.
Yeah, well, they're similar. So
the next one is the very first EVP that me and my wife Cindy ever captured.
Sweet.
And if I remember correctly, you were working at the jail that night.
Oh, yeah.
And I come in as giddy as a school kid.
Yes, you did.
And was just all excited.
That was back in the day when I was a vampire.
That was back in the day.
That was back in the day. My God.
That was,
I had hair then.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it don't seem like it's been that long, but this was the very first EVP that me and my wife ever captured. And what got this started was that we went to the cemetery originally. This was the second trip that we made that night. Mm-hmm. The very first trip that we made, took a camera with us. First 2 photographs that I took out of a camera were of ectomist.
Right.
The very first 2 pictures.
And this was not assisted ecto.
No.
This was before you ever started experimenting.
This was, honest to God, non-man created ecto.
Right.
And they just, just excited us all to pieces. So me and Cindy decided to go back, and we took a friend with us.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That wasn't it though, because I paid for that later on too. But anyway, we took a friend with us, and while we were sitting there having a conversation, this come up.
Well, that seems like a good intro to me, and so here you go.
Yeah.
Right here.
I heard a noise here, too.
We heard a noise right before we got that EM field over here.
I did over here, too. Yeah, I did just now over here. Yeah, I feel how cold it is and just getting colder. Yeah.
Right here.
I heard a noise here, too.
We heard a noise right before we got that EM field over here.
I did over here, too. Yeah, I did just now over here. God, feel how cold it is and just getting colder.
Please get out.
Yeah.
Right here.
I heard a noise here, too.
We heard a noise right before we got that EM field over here.
I did over here, too. Yeah, I did just now over here. God, feel how cold it is and just getting colder.
Please get out.
Yeah, now with the loop, that's a little bit on the long side there, but wow, did you hear that good Class A coming across right there?
No doubts about what he said or what he meant.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, page 1 through page 4 of the manual,
We
how
were-
to tell them to get out.
We were standing directly in front of a mausoleum, the only mausoleum in that cemetery, as a matter of fact. And it was just as crisp and as clear as it could be. And of course, that night's hunt, the pictures plus the EVP, there wasn't no getting out of it after that.
Yeah, you were giddy after that. I remember that.
Oh, I still get excited, but
Seems
I mean,
like
that was the very first one.
seems like we talked on the Sally Port for a while.
Oh,
on that.
I told everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't care who it was. Come here and listen to this. I mean,
As a matter of fact, that was the first night I ever met Cindy.
yes, it was.
It really was.
Yeah, that was the first night.
And it seems like so much longer now.
I've been cussing ever since, ain't you?
Ergo the drinking. No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, Cindy's a sweetheart, and that's what I say to her face.
What I hate about it more than anything else, given Cindy's medical condition right now, she's not able to get out like she used to.
Yeah.
And it absolutely kills her because she loves it.
Yeah,
She absolutely
she
loves
has a hoot with it, and she's a hoot to go with too.
Never
But,
dull moments, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So, well, this seems like a good time to take a little bit of a break and to hear from those good folks at the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team. For some reason, they're near and dear to my heart. Been in business now 3 years. I say business, but they've been practicing for 3 years now, officially, since May of 2004. They've been going in them cemeteries, them churches, them schools, your house, stalking you in your yard when you don't know it, taking pictures of you through your window. I mean, wait a minute, I hadn't been doing that. Anyway, they've been going out looking and investigating what you fear now for 3 years. So let's just hear from them, and we'll call that a commercial break. Be right back. Hey folks, Mike Watkins here. Many of you know me as the host of Georgia Paranormal Radio, but I'm also the founder and general manager of the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, which is an anchoring sponsor of this program. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team was founded back in 2004 as a scientifically based research and documentation team. This investigative group has over 17 years of combined experience in dealing with the paranormal, and the unique perspectives and specialties that each member investigator contributes really gives you the full package. You can trust the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team to thoroughly, yet discreetly and confidentially, investigate and document any paranormal phenomenon that you may be experiencing. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team serves a large area of North Georgia, North Alabama, and even Southeast Tennessee. As always, their time and services are 100% free of charge. All they ask for is an invitation from you to let them investigate those cold spots, bumps in the night, or anything else paranormal. And contacting them couldn't be any easier either. Just go to www.nwgapit.com and check them out. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, proudly bringing you Georgia Paranormal Radio and proudly investigating what you fear. All right, folks, welcome back from that commercial break. We appreciate you making it through that. And David's had his breathing treatment.
Yep.
And we went outside and looked at the carpenter bees.
Again?
Again.
That have dug their way out.
They're back. You know, I caulked those little boogers in those holes, so I guess they ate through the caulk.
Be careful now. Somebody from PETA might be listening.
Pita. I could go for a pita. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I love animals. Okay, they're delicious. You know.
Yeah, let's
You
live
know.
dangerously, why don't we?
Yeah, just because I choke a puppy every night to relieve stress doesn't mean anything. Oh, I used that line today. It was funny because I've had a bad day. And I said, you know what? Because of you, I'm going to have to go home and choke a puppy. I hope you're happy. But
The good news is I haven't seen the body of a puppy laying around anywhere.
I already buried it. Actually, we cooked it. And
Most dogs won't come around here. After the first 4 you shot, they got the message.
oh, yeah. And then the state took away my gun. So, anyway. Well, we've got about 5 more of those good EVPs for you. And so we'll just go ahead and dig right into that because we've already burned up 45 minutes of time, basically.
Talking.
Just yakety schmackety schmack
Again.
there. For those of you in California who don't like so much chit chat, find another show to listen to. Anyway,
Okay.
I got that feedback from some people in California. They don't like the chit chat so much.
I'm sorry. It's your show.
Yeah. In the words of B.B. King, I'm paying the cost to be the boss.
Let's just go with Burger King.
I love B.B. King, though.
Let's go with Burger King.
I could use some Burger King. I'm hungry.
You do your things your way.
I used that the other day at work, too, as a matter of fact. Next time you come to jail, get locked up at Burger King so you can have it your way.
Yeah.
But anyway. Well, this next one is coming right at you right now. Okay, yeah, I was just commenting to David off air there that one had to come from a school because it sounds like something teachers would say.
It did.
Slow it down.
It did. It came from the school. Again in the hallway.
Were you moving fast there, David?
I was moving at a pretty fast clip. I wasn't running or anything like that, but I was trying to get back to where one of the officers had the 5 people down on the floor at the time.
You know, I would love to see that. Anyway, so yeah, slow it down. Come from the school there. The next one is
Kind of spooky.
it's kind of spooky. I was gonna say that, and so just sit back and listen to this and see if you hear what we hear. Yeah, that's that wasn't from there, was it?
No, honestly, I don't remember where I got that from. Like I say, I carry a tape recorder with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And I'm subject to turn that tape recorder on at any time, but I'm at a decent location.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't remember where that was captured at, but stole our souls. I mean, that's kind of spooky.
Not cool. That's not cricket. So anyway, now this next one
Came from school.
Yeah. Yeah, and here you go. Well, no, you didn't see him, did you, Dave?
No.
So, no, he didn't see you, folks, but he sure as heck heard you.
Yep.
So, yeah, that one's They Might See Us. That come from that school, and wow, that place has got some history. Are they going to tear it down once they get done with the auction, or are they going to?
I'm not sure what they're going to do with the property.
Okay.
I know they're going to auction the property off. Just depends on who buys it, I guess, whether they'll leave the building on it.
They could probably use the space for the cemetery. That cemetery's getting full.
Yeah, it is. That'd be huge if it did. You know that. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of property that goes with that.
Yeah, but they could. I mean, because that cemetery is getting crowded. Heck, they got somebody buried under the bushes.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this next EVP is coming up right now, and maybe they're looking for something too. We'll give you that little hint. And here you go. Alright, we can't find him. Where did that one shoot up from, David?
That one came from a very small cemetery located in the Mountain View area. We had went to that cemetery on Mother's Day to put some flowers out at one of Cindy's relatives.
Mm-hmm.
And that was captured while we were there at the cemetery. The Stole Our Souls, now that I've seen that EVP, reminded me that's also where that EVP came from, was from that small cemetery.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay. Cemetery. They're, I don't go to cemeteries as much as I used to. Of course, I don't do anything as much as I used to here lately, but, yeah, cemeteries are a good place to go. You just got to be careful about the element that you might pick up.
And bring home with you.
And bring home, because that's happened.
The good thing about a cemetery is if you're just doing EVP research, absolutely great place to get EVPs.
Yeah.
Day or night.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of...
Okie dokie, and the motorcycle comes by.
Yeah, I didn't know we had Hell's Angels living in the neighborhood when I moved in. But, and for those of you that are real Hell's Angels, I love you. Yeah. Don't kill me.
Yeah, but you can actually tell that we're not in a soundproof studio now.
No, you're not. And the people in the production booth are back there shaking their heads.
Yep.
Oh, well, there's nobody in the... There is no production booth.
We're in the production booth.
Yeah, it's the size of a phone booth. But anyway, so we can't find him, and that come from a cemetery. But yeah, we've... yeah. Lord, I lost my train of thought. Anyway. Okay, this last EVP. Yeah, the last EVP, folks. We're already over 50 minutes.
Which is nothing unusual for us.
Closer to an hour, I'm sure, after the editing, because, we got to mix in the commercials and mix in the sound files once I get them off that laptop, and or I could just remaster all these in here, but, yeah, I've already done it once. I think I can fix the laptop and save myself the 30 minutes of work for remastering. So, anyhow, well, I think I will have to remaster one of them, because I only had 10 on my list in there. Darn it. What? But anyway, one's better than 11. So anyway, this number 11 EVP, this last EVP for the month of May, is coming at you right now.
Who are you? I feel you. You're right here with me. Who are you? I feel you. You're right here with me. Who are you? I feel you. You're right here with me.
Well, I can answer that one for you. That's David Westbrooks.
Yeah.
Our EVP specialist, guru, and master of all things auditorily paranormal.
Thank you.
I don't know if you should or not.
I'm not sure I should either. But that EVP actually came from a cemetery in Walker County.
Walker County?
Another Mother's Day thing. We were out putting flowers out.
Here in town?
No, actually out in the county.
Really?
I'm trying to remember the name of the road.
It wasn't Estelle, was it?
No.
Oh, thank God. Because Estelle, there's some nasties up there.
No, it escapes me. You can access it through Chattooga County, but I really just don't remember the name of the road.
I think I know what you're talking about. Anyway. Anywho, so there's 11 EVPs for y'all folks. And yeah, we've drug it on an hour or so.
And the good thing about it is that most of them are fairly good quality.
Yeah, fairly good quality. And we encourage your feedback. We encourage, you to let us know that you're out there listening. I just had a conversation with a loyal listener last night on MySpace. anyway, he's a good kid. I've talked about him before, JD.
Speaking of which, JD, if you listen to this week, hunt me up on MySpace and throw me another ad, and I'll put you back on. Whenever I deleted my first profile, I deleted you, and I don't want you to think I'm mad at you or anything, because I'm not. So just holler back at me and add me back, and I'll accept you.
He's got some interesting music too. He does a lot with music, and he's got an interesting style all his own, I have to say.
Never heard it.
I like unique, and he's got some unique sounds. He does. He's got some that you can't help but bob your head to and tap your foot. But he's, to be as young as he is, he's got some talent.
Yeah.
So, and he's pretty swift too, because he likes me.
Well, we got a new person that's been leaving messages on the forum too.
Skeeter, that's
Richie.
Yeah, Richie Summers.
Yeah, he added himself to MySpace
which,
this week.
God love you, Richie. I know it took me a month to reply to you, but sorry. When I finally did, I gave you, like I mentioned in the show and everything. So.
Well, he's a listener to the program.
Yeah, and he sent me a message. I think it was last night or Sunday night. I think it's one of those "wow, I can't believe you mentioned me on the show" kind of thing. I think that was him that sent that. I may have been mistaken with somebody else, but because I was busy beating my laptop to pieces last night, I was a little angry.
And still didn't work, did it?
Well, no, that's the first thing you try is to whack it one good time, and if that don't work, you whack it another couple of times, drop it.
With a hammer.
And then you take it apart.
Right.
So, anyway. And I was too lazy to get out of bed and come in here and use the server. God love it. So, got a $2,500 computer sitting on a desk, and I'm too lazy to come in the next room and use it. So, lovely. So, anyway, what else have we got, David? Have we got anything else to take up time and burn airspace? Because we got a lot of airtime available.
We got to sit down and figure out when we're going to do this EVP training.
There's some growing interest in that.
Yeah, we haven't actually had the time to sit down. We had originally planned doing this in March or April of this year, and the way things have went for both of us, we just haven't been able to
get our ducks quacking together.
Yeah, it's just been kind of hectic. So we're going to sit down and hash that out and try to get that out.
Probably have to shoot for sometime in the fall now.
Possibly.
Because summer, the summer to me
I'd
is just...
rather get out and EVP research in the fall anyway.
Well, it's nicer, I'm a fall guy.
Well, some of our better pictures and EVPs come in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
October, September.
October's generally our busiest time anyway, but hey, what's one more thing to that schedule?
Some of the best pictures I've ever captured have been in September and October.
Because, something I didn't, well, I mentioned it, but I edited it out of last week's show, so the people that aren't listening, but, our usual video media outlet, I guess, has kind of moved on to another group, and so my Octobers are pretty light right now.
Yeah. Hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully, we'll be able to get into the park this year.
Yeah, I heard a group admitting that they do it illegally.
Yeah, but we won't do that.
We're not going to do that.
No, that's not very...
Not ethical.
Well, that wasn't quite the word I was going to use, but I can't say that kind of language on radio, so, or not on our program anyway. So, you don't sneak into a place just because you want to ghost hunt it.
No, that's not smart.
I mean, you're violating, the law.
Mm-hmm.
You're breaking your code of ethics.
Mm-hmm.
And if you break your code of ethics, I mean, what kind of people are you?
And if you get any good evidence by showing it off, you're admitting guilt.
Exactly.
That's not smart. We've talked about that 100 times on here, David. Out of 30 shows, I would say that probably that's the most talked about thing is don't trespass.
No.
And hopefully you people realize out there that, yes, it is that big of a problem. But that's why we talk about it so much.
Well, it's what gives paranormal groups a bad name.
Bad name. And, granted, I'm not as active as I used to be. Boy, the good old days, go hunting at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Any hat.
And I'd
it
throw
didn't
the
even
hat
have to
down.
be mine.
Yeah, I'd throw the hat down to go.
You know, so I get a phone call at 10 o'clock at night. What are you doing? Nothing. You want to go? Let's go. Yeah. Then 3 o'clock would roll around. Well, I guess I better get to bed. I got to get up in an hour.
But it was fun.
It was great. But, you know, even during all that, we didn't trespass.
No. And will not.
And will not.
Even if we didn't work in law enforcement, we wouldn't do it because we have a different code of ethics.
It's just the right thing to do, you know. And so, for those of you that are out there trespassing, shame on you.
But hopefully, maybe we can legally get a permit this year.
Yeah, what is it? I think it was $75 or $125. I can't remember.
I can't remember right offhand, but I'm hoping we can get a permit and legally get into the Chickamauga battlefield.
They've got a new administrator working up there.
Yeah, I read that in the Walker County Messenger.
So, you know,
just have to see, I guess.
We'll see, and be a good opportunity to invite the girls from Grit up.
Oh, they'd love it.
We had to cancel our outing last month with them, and Cindy's still working in law enforcement. Cindy, why did you want to get a job in law enforcement? Haven't you been told by me and all the horror stories of what goes on inside of a jail?
Well,
why did you want to do that?
Well, no. She may actually like it.
She actually, and she's doing good at it too.
Yeah, she may actually like it.
But,
it's not everybody's cup of tea, but
no.
You know, it's if you're an adrenaline nut. I mean, you like I am, and you know, you don't do it for the money. That's for doggone sure.
No, you don't.
You've got to be an adrenaline nut, or you've got to have something extremely wrong with you, which, you know, I probably qualify for both of that. So. But, you know, it's a chosen profession.
Oh, yeah.
You have to choose to stay in it. And so far, I've been lucky. I've stayed in it for going on 21 years. And it really doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I'm working on my 5th.
It goes by in a hurry.
It does.
I enjoy my job. I enjoy getting out and meeting people. I enjoy helping people. And I guess the day that it no longer becomes fun to me is the day that I'll find something else to do.
I read something that's funny. For those of you who have never been in jail, it's illegal to smoke in jails.
Yeah, it
and
is.
Pretty well everywhere, especially in the state of Georgia. But dear Lord, Cindy found out what booty tobacco was.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's where you hide contraband in wonderful private places.
Yeah.
So,
Gives it a whole new flavor.
Yeah. Milk lemonade, this is where the fudge is made. Yeah. But anyway.
Do your cigarettes taste funny lately? Well,
so,
the reason for it.
We love our friends down there from Grit, and I've got to mail these discs off to her. I promised about a month ago to send her copies of all the episodes, and whoops. So, yeah. I got to mail those off.
You'll get it done.
Eventually. Well, I've got to make some more. Actually, what happened is I ran out of discs. And then by the time I got some more discs, I keep forgetting to do it. Because I don't go to Walmart.
Yeah.
I worked there for 7 years, and I try to avoid the place like the bubonic plague. But
unfortunately, it's one of those places I have to go every day.
Well,
I have 3 kids, and for whatever reason, they feel like they've got to eat every day.
Why?
I don't understand that.
I don't eat every day.
They think they got to eat every day, so I end up going to Walmart at least every other day in order to keep buying food.
Good grief.
I don't understand it. I'll eat maybe once or twice a week. I figured they could do the same thing.
Well, sure. Good Lord.
They just won't do it.
You got them young and spoiled.
Yeah, I do.
What you do.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. And the number to the DFACs down there in Chattooga County is what? No. Anyway, so I guess that's been our EVP special for the month. You got anything else, Dave?
No, that's fairly much. I figure we took up enough of their time.
I'm telling you. I did that with episode 29. God, I went on and on and on.
I thought it
about
was a good
nothing.
episode.
You know, a lot of people have said it was a good episode. I recorded that thing Saturday morning when I couldn't sleep. And that was the midnight ravings of an insomniac.
I'm trying my best to remember what episode it was, but it was when you wasn't feeling real well, and you done one by yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best episode that you've ever put out.
That's, everybody said that.
A lot of very informative information was in it.
Everybody
you went
said
into
that.
great detail. I think it was a great program.
And a lot of that come from, a lot of it was feedback.
Right.
A feedback show.
But it was answering questions.
Right, and that good question about ectoplasm come from JD.
Yeah.
And by the way, JD, you sent me an email yesterday. Yes, Go ahead and send me your story about that, because I got one that'll blow your mind too.
Don't know, don't want to know.
Out-of-body experiences.
Okay.
Near-death experiences.
Right.
Yeah. I've been thinking about doing a show about that. And
Closest I've ever come to a near-death experience was my first marriage.
Oh, God. Well, I've actually died. I've been dead.
I think I did in my first marriage.
Oh, God. Was it that bad? Yeah, it was. I've heard. So, anyway. I've been dead. I don't recommend it.
Okay.
It's not nearly as fun.
Well, you know, you're probably my closest friend, and I always try to listen to what you have to say. So I'll take your recommendation on that.
Yeah, don't die. There's a whole lot of floating involved. I don't know why. I'll tell that story.
Because you can't walk anymore.
Yeah, pretty well. I'll tell that story. But yeah, JD, you go ahead and send me that story. And if it's too long for you to email it out, just send me an email, and I'll give you my cell phone number. You can add to my torturous minutes for the month.
Sounds like the makings of a good program.
Oh, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I think it'll
Real
be
good
okay.
program.
Like I said, I've been dead before. I don't recommend it. So, because I remember it. I remember dying.
Okay.
Do.
Yeah.
Well, this has been episode number 30 of Georgia Paranormal Radio. This has been your host, and shall be still your host, Mike Watkins.
Didn't they use that line on Star Trek?
What?
Oh, I have been and always shall be your friend.
That's the reason I said it like three
okay.
times.
Okay.
That's I have always. How the hell it go? It's a Spock thing.
Yeah.
In the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Khan!
Yeah.
I have been and shall always be your friend.
Yeah.
Call me Jim. But anyway.
I like McCoy.
I'm a doctor, not a actor.
That was obvious.
Yeah. God love him. Anyway.
One other thing.
Okay, here we go.
Speaking of Star Trek, Scotty, God rest his soul.
Jimmy Doohan. I met the man in Birmingham, Alabama. I was 12 years old, and he was a very nice man.
He was actually a passenger on one of the space flights of recent.
Yes.
Have they ever found his ashes?
Yes, they found him.
Good. I was worried about that.
You see, now, here's my thing.
How do you misplace somebody's ashes?
Well, because they only send up, like, a test tube full. Right.
Right. But they were having problems locating
the whole box.
Because
there was like 300 people.
Yeah.
Here's my thought. You know, they pay, and you and I could do this, or you listening could do this. I think they pay somewhere around $5,000 or $6,000 to have him launched into orbit. I thought that when they did that they sent you out into deep space.
And then bring you back.
Right. I didn't know that, 2 weeks later
They
crashed
brought you
back in.
Right.
What's the point?
I don't know. I really don't.
I mean,
I tell you what I want. I want a frozen DNA sample sent up in a space mission.
Oh, here we go.
Send it off into deep space.
Mm-hmm.
Some alien race that has the cloning technology finds it, reclones me, and I live again.
With my luck, they would be a malicious alien race, and as soon as they clone me, they'd start probing me.
Well, you can't have everything.
Which, on some Saturday nights, that's okay. But
but we ain't going there.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Right, blow that clean out of the water.
Anyway, yeah.
But I was just curious about that.
I've never understood why they would launch you into orbit just to have you fall back down 2 weeks later.
I don't understand it either. I thought
was normal.
I thought that if they took you out, they launched you into deep space, and you floated for eternity.
As far as I know, Gene Roddenberry, who created Star Trek, his ashes are still up there.
It just don't make any sense.
Not to me either. I mean, why do it? Heck, put him on an airplane. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Cheaper, too.
Yeah.
Take the family out to the Shoney's afterwards. But anyway, God rest your soul, Jimmy Doohan. I met you when I was like 12, 13 down in Birmingham, Alabama. And you were a nice man. You really were. I'll tell you who's not so nice among those people.
Let me guess. The doctor?
I never met him.
Okay.
Who is not so nice as William Shatner.
Really?
He used to not be as nice as he would seem to be now. But yeah, I met him at a convention in Atlanta. I am still a Star Trek freak, but I gave up my uniform years ago. But yeah, I used to actually go to the conventions in uniform.
Okay.
It was kind of weird. It's when I was a kid, 20. So, but anyway, I met a lot of those guys. Got a lot of their autographs too. I never met the one I really wanted to meet, who was Brent Spiner, Data.
Yeah, in the corner, standing there with a phaser pointed at us now.
Oh, he looks so cool.
Mike has a life-size poster. Actually, it's a
Cardboard standee.
cutout.
Yeah.
Standing of Data in his corner over here that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a Trekkie nut.
Oh, I'm a big Star Trek fan.
Plus, he's got a framed picture of him on the wall too.
Yeah. Never got to meet him. He was the one I always wanted to, but he won't do a convention. And if he, I gave up conventions years ago because I thought it was a bunch of hogwash.
Mm-hmm.
But if that man ever goes to a convention, you bet I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay.
So, but those are nice guys. They're really nice,
And he actually sings nice.
I have his CD.
A lot of people don't know that he's got an album out. Actually, a couple albums out.
Old Yellow Eyes is back.
Yeah.
I got that at the Birmingham convention where I met Scotty. So, anyway. And this has been This Week in Star Trek.
Right.
So,
Bye, buddy.
yeah. Live long and prosper. If you go out doing any investigating. Well, wait a minute. You interrupted me. This is episode 30.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, anyway. Hold on. We'll cut that. So, like I was saying, this has been episode number 30, the EVP special for the month of May. I have been and shall always be your host, Mike Watkins. Joining me tonight was my good friend and yours, the EVP Specialist of the Month, Employee of the Month, David Westbrooks.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. May the farce be with you. Oh, that's a different thing. That's Spaceballs. May the Schwartz be with you.
Right.
So anyway, y'all have a good night. And, like I always say, if you go out doing any investigating, if you get out at all, hey, be careful out there. Take the extra 5 seconds. Do things right. And make it home safe, because your family will appreciate it. Your friends will appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. But most of all, you will appreciate being alive and being able to listen to next week's episode of Georgia Paranormal Radio. Good night, everybody.
Underground, we are child, retired, protest, live wire, check up, smoke up, break up, look down. We are 6 feet underground. We are 6 feet underground. We are 6 feet underground. We are 6 feet underground.